Hey, Dave here. Welcome back to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. That is I. A little rainy morning out here today in this park, so I'm sitting under the shelter and picnic table area. Hopefully the wind won't blow the rain in here. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the world would be a better place without any magical, supernatural belief systems that would include all the God beliefs, all the theistic religions, all the supernaturalism, New Age spiritualism? Do you think the world would be better if it were a pure secular humanist world without any supernatural beliefs? Grounded and rooted in science, education, reason, human compassion, and human love. If the answer is yes, you would probably agree with me. Some of you may disagree, and that is okay. Now, there are three options to getting to that place that we might want to make a better world through humanist principles and ethics. How do we do that? How do we get to that place where we have less belief in the supernatural, where the perception of reality, which is skewed for many people that believe in the supernatural, is eliminated? How do we get there? Well, through my years of experience, being a former preacher in the 70s and 80s, and the last many years, many decades of secular humanist and atheist activism, there are three options. Number one is one we've used for many years. It can be effective, but I can see us slowly getting away from that. There are times it's good, and that's simply debate and argue. Our debaters have debated their debaters and arguers for many years on the existence of God, on free will, and all the other things, right? That happens. Now, let me tell you a little secret. The secret is, I've been doing this for a while. When I'm out there on the weekends with my signs, there's a very, very small percentage of Christians and other believers in the supernatural that actually care about arguing and debating. I would say 2 or 3% of them. Do you know what most people want, whether you're in the unbelief tribe or the belief tribe? Most people simply just want love, compassion, community, sharing with other people. They want identity. They want to belong to a group of like-minded, compassionate people. Believers do it, and so do we as unbelievers. Now, that is one option. And I'm telling you that there's probably a 2-3% of those younger people, sorry guys, they're usually young males, that would come and want to argue. But those are the type people that would argue with anybody. They argue with their wives, their parents, their boyfriends, girlfriends, their children, their neighbors. They'll argue about everything because they're wired that way. Same thing with the atheist side. There are some people that like to debate and argue. It's a very small percentage. Again, I'm not throwing the baby out the bathwater. There is a time and place for that as well. Now, there's another option, number two. I call the tipping point, the French Revolution, off with their heads, burning the churches, burning buildings, take it to the street, turn over the cars. That quick, sudden change. Wipe out the past, start like a blank slate, start new with nothing that reminds us of religion or Christianity or Islam or anything. Start all fresh new. Now, my question is, how do changes occur? How does evolution work? Through natural selection. It's not a tipping point. It's not a fast takeover. 2 words, baby steps. Through natural selection, evolution is a very slow process. I see changes politically and with this concept of gods versus naturalism, secular humanism. Very small incremental changes. Now, let me tell you, and I'm going to play devil's advocate for a moment. I'm going to pretend like I'm an evangelical Christian talking to a very intelligent atheist debater or a tipping point style person. Okay, Mr. Atheist, you're smart. I'll give you that. You've got logic, reason, science, but you can't disprove my idea of God. But more importantly than that, what do you have, you unbelievers, that competes, that compares with what I have over here? What do you have better than what I have? I have community. I have brothers and sisters in Christ. I have people that accept me and love me unconditionally. I have a set of values over here. Sure, I have doubts. Sure, I have fears. Sure, some of this doesn't make sense. But what am I going to leave this for if I decide to jump the fence and go, yeah, there is no evidence for God. What do I do? What do you have better than I have? What are you going to tell that person? Well, I'm an atheist. Okay, what else? Which leads me to option number 3, which I lean toward. Look, folks, I don't know everything. I could be wrong. I may stand corrected. These are just ideas I've come with. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Here's what I see. I see us slowly, baby steps, each generation, more and more people are letting go of God belief. Look at the data. The baby boomers, all the way down to the Generation Z. I don't know what's going to be next. They'll start all over with A, maybe. More and more people are letting God belief go. Now, it's time to show them a better way. Show them something that is not perfect, but better. Now, I'm going to say something that may anger some people that are still in their adolescent atheist stage, and they're angry. I get it. I've done episodes on this. Hopefully you've watched them on adolescent atheism. I used to be like that. But I'm going to tell you the fact. The fact is, when I talk to believers and people on the fence, people that just let go of God, they like it when I tell them things like, hey, we miss the good part of church, which is just community, sharing, caring, all the humanist principles that are in the Bible, which are just human. We know that. It wasn't from a God. It all predated Christianity. It's similar to Christianity in some ways. Now, when I find common ground with people out there, this to me is a slow process of change. It's a gentle landing zone for them when they leave God belief. They have something that reminds them of that. Why is it similar to Christianity? Community, love, taking care of the needy, compassion, empathy, an ethical system, a moral system, not based on God's, but derived from human need, human interest, tested by experience, consequences. We have a system that is similar because we take and agree with the good stuff of the church system. I find common ground. A few years ago when I was in my atheist, angry stage of adolescent atheism, I hated that. I didn't want to find common ground with them. We have a lot of common ground, but they don't know it. Now, if we want to get to that place where we slowly make the world better through humanist principles, just like the countries across the sea, which I talk about all the time, that are healthier in every way, they have less belief in the God, they become more humanist. Science, reason, education, knowledge, humanistic ethics, no supernaturalism. I want that world. But to get there, we can't hate the people that still believe in gods. We have to show them and offer them something that looks similar. It looks the same, it acts the same, because it's just kindness and love and humanism, but without all the thorns and thistles. This is my take. This is what I believe. And I hope I'm right. Now, I'm going to argue the next 2 episodes coming up for why I think it's possible, very plausible, and somewhat probable, I hope so, that we can build secular humanist communities that are very similar to some of these larger churches, of course, minus all the God stuff and all the other thorns and thistles. After that pattern, which is simply human, gathering up together. So I'm going to argue for that. How can we make a better world in groups and communities? I think we can. I know this is different for some, and it's not for everybody. I have some atheists and secular humanist friends that want nothing to do with what reminds them of their past in church, or they're introverts. And they already have a few friends. They don't need communities. They don't need this thing, secular humanism, so much. Or if they do, they want to do it just on their own with their few friends. And that's fine. All right, so thank you for watching the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. Remember to let the light and the compassion of secular humanism shine. Have a wonderful day.
What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
No, you're done.